Hi all, thank you for joining the CPQ version 2 webinar for our upcoming launch into SASBOSS. Joining me, I have Matt Jamison.
Hey Anne, how are we going?
Very good, very good. Very excited to have you with me. And today we're going to take you through some of the features of CPQ, the new ones from version 2, and a bit more information about the launch. Because thank you very much for joining me.
No problem. It's good to be here. It's exciting times as always, particularly when we're further developing SASBOSS, the heart and soul of Access 4. So it's nice to be part of it.
I love that, the heart and soul of Access 4. Yes, and especially for CPQ, for you and your team, being that it's a sales enablement tool to help get quotes out for customers and more accurate and faster quoting. So I imagine you're quite excited for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime we can make sales enablement easier, that helps our partners. We're nothing without our partners, so it plays right into that part. So it's good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I got to say, how many people have to? Because I've been dealing with a version of CPQ in my career all the time, right? But I don't think, I'm trying to think when was the first time I Googled it, because I know what CPQ is, but I never actually knew what it stood for, right? So I'm keen, I wonder if how many other people are out there in that world thinking, what does CPQ actually stand for?
What does it stand for? CPQ stands for Configure, Price, Quote.
So sensible and so logical.
It is. It's a very logical acronym, although not very intuitive. So it's all about being able to work out a solution and all the things you need to have in it, price, and then put that into a quote that you can give to a customer. So in a nutshell, every version of a CPQ tool does this, whether it's something like in our platform where it's very feature rich or it's an Excel spreadsheet, they're all CPQ tools.
Beautiful. Love it. And yes, I did have to Google it.
But yes, CPQ tools are everywhere and they're really helpful in terms of putting quotes together to get prices accurate, to make sure that you've included everything and gives something that's quite standardized to a customer. And that sort of brings us into sort of why we've brought that into SASBOSS. SASBOSS at its core is a provisioning tool, and it's actually making a solution and supporting a solution for a customer. And we want to be able to expand that to make it easier for our partners to be able to put quotes together, because it can be quite a challenge when you have such a complex product portfolio. Yep. We've got Broadway, we've got NetSapiens, we've got a number of different add-ons and things to put together, and knowing what works with what and what can be put together and how it all gets priced up can be quite a challenge, especially if you're new to selling voice. So we want to make something that's easy for those who are seasoned pros and just want to get through it quickly and get quotes out faster than the tools that they have been using, but also something for MSPs that are new to selling voice, need a bit more help. They want to help working out what product to use, what things work with that product, and get the best solution for those customers.
Now, there'll be some people that potentially listening to this that have been on the Access 4 journey for a while. They've been a partner for a while, so they probably know that this is not our first go at CPQ.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. No, it's not our first go. So version 2 is our second
evolution.
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
The second evolution of CPQ. So the first one we had was over a year ago now, and it came out very first as just an opportunities management quote creation tool. And it was very much centered around business rule logic. So making sure that the licenses you were picking, you knew which add-ons worked with that the prices were all the same and synced up to what you had in SASBOSS. And that was really the big benefit of doing that. But it really kind of had a few gaps, and it wasn't as successful as we'd like it to be in terms of being a full and complete sales tool for you. And we took that feedback and then came to version 2. So there was a number of different pieces in terms of that. Everyone sort of uses CPQ a bit differently. Some people have their own CPQ tools and just want to use pieces of it and connect it in, like our core flow designer. Other people were very much looking at it from how does this fit into provisioning, and then there were the people who just needed a bit more help in terms of working out what products.
Yep.
So with all that in mind, we came up with quite a number of new features, but also improvements for existing features. And that's what we're going to go through now, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think taking that into consideration again, as we always say, we're nothing without our partners, and taking on our partners' feedback and building on that and building better products and services and making the journey to the end customer easier, simpler. That's at the heart of what we do. And I think, we did acknowledge that we didn't get CPQ version 1 quite right. But we've taken all the good that was there, and we've also noted all of the things that people were using in that CPQ and carried it over. But we've then built on that, which I think, and again, I'm really pleased with what we've got to deliver in this version. So
that's right. So in terms of how we worked out what needed to be changed, what needed to be added, we did a number of feedback sessions with partners. We also have a number of analytics in SASBOSS to see what people were clicking on and what sort of got to the point where they had to sort of drop off because it wasn't working for them. And a lot of that was around having sort of a blank canvas to start off with. In a lot of cases, people really wanted templates. People really wanted ways that you could jump off and create your quote quickly and more easily. And so going through that, there's a number of pieces that fits this all together, because you can't really do this in isolation. You have to have something that fits the whole process flow. The very first one that I actually want to address, and it was the feedback from every single partner, I don't think anyone didn't want this, was that we have made CPQ now 100% free, including all of its features. So, and we've done this because we don't want anything to sort of stand in the way of creating those opportunities. Again, as Matt says, we're successful when you're successful. And if you're getting quotes out to customers, winning more of those customers and bringing those ends on, we're all doing well together. So we've made it 100% free. And I think you're excited about that, and your team is as well.
Very much so. I think it's, again, it comes to that if we can enable you, our partners, and we can do that and make it easier, then everybody's winning.
Everybody's winning. Exactly. So that's the very first thing, and it's news that partners have been waiting for a little while, which is really, really great that we can bring that out this way. The second one, which I've mentioned already, is customizable templates. So that's a new feature in the CPQ tool that hasn't been there before. We did have call flow templates, where we were just a static image. This is an actual template that includes a bill of materials and a real call flow that you can put straight into a quote. It's really about if you quote to the same customers often, or quote the same sort of solutions, this is much faster. You click your template, you make your customizations as you need, and then you put it straight to the customer.
Yeah, and I think part of what the thought process in this is that we understand that we've got different partners and different salespeople and different pre-sales people using this tool in different ways, and they're all at different stages in their journey on selling voice. And so what we try to encompass is that there's a way for those that know what they're doing to get in fast, get the job done, and get the outcome. There's those that, hey, I've not done this, I don't have a lot of support around me, or that person's away, or pre-sale, and I can step my way through the process to get the outcome. And then templates, which I really love this part, is the ability for the people around you with the skill sets to build it out, put it there for you, and then you can go, oh, that looks like the customer I just spoke to. Let's grab that one and start with that. The other thing I think is, you were talking to me about this earlier, that the ability to do your own quote and then save it as a template.
Yes, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So again, at the heart of most salespeople is that they're fundamentally lazy. That's me. And what I like to do is save that quote, and then all I do is take it again and copy and paste it into it and save it with a different name and keep saving it with a different name and just keep selling the same solution. So I love it. You've enabled me.
And that's exactly what the feedback from partners were. You are fitting that persona very, very well. Templates is exactly what that is. So we're going to provide you with some templates that we see really common across all MSPs, some basic ones based on industry, like a medical center or an accountancy or a school. There'll be templates like that, but there'll also be templates that are based on the type of product solution. So you can filter it to see all your Microsoft Teams templates or your UC Express templates. And then you can also see the ones that you've created for your reseller and personally. So when you create a quote, you can save it as a template, and you can share it with everyone, so everyone can see it in the team. So if you're a solution tech and you've created this for the whole sales team, you can do that. If you're also a salesperson and you're creating a quote for yourself that you know that you use a lot, you can also do that as well. So Beautiful. Really, really cool. And we're going to go through a demo of that in, just a bit later. The third one is intelligent product recommendations, which is again, coming back to if you're newer or you're quoting a kind of customer you haven't sort of done before, like a new kind of solution. This is helping you step through what's kind of the base product and then puts you on a flow to do the quote builder, which again, I'll show you in a minute, that makes it really easy to work out what kind of licenses you need, add-ons, everything that flows through, and it gives you a lot more information. The version 1 SASBOSS, it was, if you remember, it was kind of a big license list, and you had to click on the executive license that told you a bit about that, and to click on the next one. This compares it all in kind of like a brochure, almost style thing.
And I think it's also important to understand why we got to where we got to with this part of the CPQ tool, in that we understand that we have quite a wide portfolio of products.
Yes.
A lot of our partners tend to grab onto a particular product set that they like and works well with their customer base, which again, we really encourage, and that's a great place to be. But we also want to enable those partners that are comfortable or starting to work on that solution selling technique, where it's not so much that one size fits all, or that this is the product set we go to market with. It's a sit down in a consultative type fashion with a customer and take them through a product portfolio. And that this is about putting that in place in a pricing and quoting tool, so that you can go, well, hang on, I spoke to my customer, I asked them this question, they gave me this response, and it takes you on that path to a product. And it really, as you do this multiple times, you'll start to see how it helps you choose what product set you can be pitching to your end customer. Exactly
what it's meant to be designed for. And then in answering all of that, it then generates a bill of materials, a quote that you can send directly to your customer from SASBOSS. So all that work doesn't need to be double-handled and put somewhere else. It's all integrated. So all these tools are designed to work together. And again, we'll go through a demo of that in just a minute. The fourth one is around fitting in with your existing process. So I mentioned a little earlier, some partners don't use SASBOSS CPQ for everything. They have their own CPQ tools, but they're really interested in the core flow designer, or they're really interested in taking the bill of materials and appending it because they're selling a bunch of other things to the customer and want to include the Access 4 quote. We've made that a lot easier. So we've made it easier to export the quote into different versions. So it's not just the CSV version, you can take it into different ones now. And you can also use the core flow designer on its own and export that. And so you can take that as an image and put it into your other quote as well. So we want to make sure this works with you, for you. Obviously, it works a lot better if you're using it in SASBOSS, because all the pricing is synced up to your price book and what you've productized. It syncs up to all the information. So if you're using a proposal, you get all the device and product information along with that. But we want to make sure that, again, this works for your process. So again, it's all about making it easier to sell voice. Their success is our success.
That's it. Absolutely. Fantastic.
I also want to say that we haven't changed everything. So when you look at old CPQ versus new CPQ, mostly it's new features like the templates and scoping tool and quote builder. The existing features have had some improvements, but they're all still there. You still have the core flow designer. You still have the additional fees, so you can put your own price book in there for call out fees, for setup fees. You can do all the things that you used to do. And again, we're going to take you through a demo now, but that's just call out that it's all new stuff. And again, it's 100% free.
Beautiful. Thank you.
All right. So jumping into SASBOSS, I thought I'd do a live demo because I like risk and danger. So first of all, I do want to get back to...
You like risk and danger.
I like risk and danger. And danger Liverpool. So first of all, I know that everyone on this call hasn't always used CPQ and might not have used it before, and this could be new to them. So I'm not going to go just through the new features. I will do a quick overview of CPQ in general. So when you get into SASBOSS, you have CPQ over here, and there are three areas. There's pipeline, opportunities, and quotes. Pipeline is the area where you put your pipeline.
Yeah. So adding on to that. So pipeline was an area that we built for partners to use in a few different ways. The idea is that if you're in an organization that doesn't have a sales tracking tool or a CRM that is tracking sales pipeline, this is an ability to use that. It's there, it's free. You can build in your opportunities in there. It's also a place where maybe I already have a CRM, I track it in, track our sales and bits and pieces, but I want to just track the voice opportunities. So you may have a multitude of opportunities that you track in your own CRM, but you just want to put some voice opportunities. The other thing that's quite useful for is I know that in my sales career, in my journey in sales, I have these little, Ben Kelly likes to refer them as shower thoughts. This little thing pops in your mind and go, I often do it. I'm driving down the freeway and I'll see a truck with a sign on it and it'll be XYZ Proprietary Limited. And I'll go, oh, that's right. I remember I sold them a solution 2 years ago, 5 years ago. That's a person I need to contact again. It's a great place to put that in to say, hey, here's a reminder of that thought, that opportunity. It hasn't quite formed. I haven't quite qualified it yet, but I don't want to forget about it. It's a great little spot to put all of that sort of thing. And then when it does develop, you can push it across into the opportunities part and then becomes real.
That's it. That's it. So exactly what you said. It's all about putting the prospects in and things you need to remember. And it gives you a nice list of this. So this is all test data. So all these have lapsed from previous old testing, but it does give you a breakdown of when things are coming up. So when you can start taking action, 3 months out, 6 months, 9 months, the value of your total pipeline. And then, as you mentioned, you can promote something that's a prospect into being opportunity and come straight through there. So it really keeps sort of the areas clean, but it's a really, really helpful tool to keep track. The second area is opportunities. And this is where I'm going to spend most of the time and talk about the new features, because this is where most people who use it and create opportunities. So you live in here, you can see all the different sales steps. What's in evaluation, proposal, POC demo, close one. I can show close loss if I want to. And then you can see all of that. And quotes is just all the quotes that are inside these opportunities. So one opportunity, you can have multiple quotes. I can make a Microsoft Teams quote. I can do a WebEx quote. I can do a discount on a WebEx quote and have that one there. Oh, discounts. I didn't mention. That's also new.
It is.
Discounts and margin. So where you couldn't set before, you only sort of had the sell price and your overall cost of the quote. You can now see the margin you're going to make on each product, but also you can apply a discount, which is really, really cool. And I know you were asking me for that for a while.
Yeah, very much so. And I think that it's important to note that we've also put this at user settings. So obviously sales management can enable how margin is seen or not seen. Discounts can be applied or not applied. We can put thresholds attached to those discounts and bits and pieces. Again, it's a matter of using that sales psyche of, I've produced a quote. Is that the price that it should be at? That's not quite what they were fishing for. So you can, what does a 2% discount look like? What does a 5% discount look like? What does a 10% discount? They wanted to get to this price point. Oh, wow, that's a big discount. I'm going to have to involve different resources, or how do I change this configuration to try and reach that price point? And playing with those discount levels is a good way to be able to do it.
And you can do it both ways. You can do a % discount, and you can also do a dollar value discount, and it will calculate both, so you can see it either way.
Yeah, I'm not great with percentages.
I'll add that directly for you. And then you can see the margin, and you can see it under the review part of your quote, and also show up, as you mentioned, in the quote itself, so the customer can see the deal you're providing to them. As you mentioned, you can configure it in the same way that you can configure other things in CPQ, like the colors and the logos you include, your executive summary, terms and conditions. You can configure your discounting as well. You can set your soft limit, you can set your hard limit, and then it will show up and as something that needs to be approved by a salesperson before that quote can go out. So we'll take you through.
I can't sit still any longer. We do a quote.
Do a quote. All right, so all quotes start with an opportunity, which has a date. I'll go through this quite quickly for those who used to this. Let's put quote type. So Teams.
Yep.
A lot of Teams quotes. Microsoft Teams one. On the industry. Australia. All right, so for those who are new to CPQ, all quotes start with an opportunity. They're pretty easy to put in. put whatever you like in those, but it just helps, and you can then, it basically links all your quotes together so you don't lose them, and you can have them compared for the customer. All the information I just put in is over on the right, and I can edit it whenever I like. But what I really want to go through today is the quoting options. So what we had before in version 1 was one way to quote. It was create new quote, and you went through, I'll show you, went through something like this. So you give it a quote name, and then a date, say it's a bundled one. And it brings you to this main page. And this main page isn't going away. So you can still quote as you have been. And this place is really good, again, if you know exactly what you need to have, you know your licenses, devices, your DIDs, all the add-ons you want, you can put it straight into here, which might be a little washed out on the screen, but I can go in and I can say I want a few of these, and say I want 5 of those, and it will give me information. It will show me the add-ons that are available for it. Let's put a few users in. Here's where I can add discounts. I can jump in and I can put a $10 discount on it. I can see what's happened to that. So it's gone from $25 to $15. I can see the margin I've done. It's a 40% discount. That's a bit much. Let's just do 35. And that automatically applies. And that's now an $8.75 discount. And I can save that. Oops. Oh, and that's a good point. My max discount I'm allowed to do, which I've set as a limit as a sales manager, is 30. So I'll just do 25. I want my manager grumpy at me. And I can go and save that, which, if you haven't used it before, will all be available down in my quote bill of materials drawer. And I can see everything I've added already. So I've already connected SIP trunks. I have changed basic user. I'm not making this quote make sense. It's just for demo purposes. But that's all there, and will get updated as I add more. So if I could go through, I can add a 5th user. You can see that automatically gets updated. Won't do add-ons for now. Go to some devices. Again, I can add anyone I want. This has been updated to be by manufacturer. So I can see my Jabra, my Poly, whatever I want. I can add those if I wanted to. DIDs, again, nice and easy to change between Australia and New Zealand. I can put a few of those in. Again, I'm going through this quite quickly. If you do have any questions, please put them in the chat. There will also be CPQ training following the launch with our L&D team that will take you through in quite granular detail of all the things that are coming out, and there'll be a link for that a bit later on. Sent out after the webinar. But here's all the things here. This is my additional fees area. So this is where I can put in things that aren't in the Access for portfolio, which could be something like a training session or a call out fee. And I can add all those in there and show them. And so I can customize this. I can add additional fees. I can make them reoccur. I can make them once off. They're all in there. All right, here's where we're starting to diverge from what was only in the free version of CPQ. Call flows are now completely free. There is no premium version of CPQ anymore. Well, it won't be once this goes live. And I can create my call flow from here. Really cool things about call flows is that I can generate my bill of materials off of the call flow. So up until now, I've been putting everything in individually, and you can do that, and that's fine. You can just make a quote from here. Or I can start with a call flow design. Demo. I can create my call flow, and then I can just include it to the quote as is, and along with all the licenses and everything I've put in. Or I can generate a bill of materials from here, either adding to what I've already got, or wiping away everything I've put in and just including all of those. So let's create a very basic call flow. So IVR, let's say they have a couple of call centers. This one, the sales one. It's going to be support.
That's going to be really busy, the sales one.
You can actually add some agents. So agents are cool because we have changed how agents work. There was feedback that was a bit confusing and hard to manage all your agents. So this is actually a new improvement piece. So we're having agents at the moment. I'm going to create some. So I will say it's going to be the sales. They can be basic, and I'll create, say, 3. And then that brings in there, and I can see all those endpoints have been assigned. Cool, save. And if I was to close that, screen's quite small. You can see that they've been added. Now, if I go into support, create some agents, put the different people, and let's say there's quite a few more of those. Let's say it's 5 or 6. That'll work. Give me the premium. It automatically gives me the callbacks. If I was to go to the add-ons, it would show me only the add-ons that can be assigned. Again, I can also add my devices here. And let's say one of the people from the sales team also jumps into support and helps out every now and again. I'll put them in that queue too. All right. So you can then see that I've added the basic users for the sales team, the premium for the support team, and then there's that other user that is now across both.
Are you trying to say something about sales?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
So I can then go in and I can edit this to my heart's content. It does fill in a basic data. So if you were making a quote really quickly, you can put it straight through. But let's say, I'll pull this one, explain, and save. I could go through and I could add names to everybody and it would show up in my call flow. So if I had a customer sitting next to me, it would then be a really engaging conversation. They can see exactly where everything's going to be and show up. I can add overflow from here. I can add all the different settings to call transfer, everything. I can do time of day routing from here. I can do my after hours services as well. It will all be available. And then
the magic happens.
The magic happens. So this is the part where I can generate my bill of materials from the call flow. So this is quite different to what I said in the licenses. I just had operator connect and a few things in there, but I can go through and generate my bill of materials. So I have the option to either replace the whole thing, so blow away everything I just did. Here's my new call flow because I did it with the customer and that's what we agreed upon. Or I can just add what was missing to the bill of materials. Which I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's very cool.
All right.
And it helps for the those people that are, one, visual, and two, if you have been able to take your customer on this journey and understand and have that conversation about call flows and specifics, then it's a good place to start. And it's also a good little tip that we like to encourage people to is if you haven't rung the customer that you're talking to, it's always a great way to do it because ringing their main number and experiencing what they've currently got tells you a lot about what it is they need.
Yes, that's a good tip. I saw the question pop up, can you export the call flow? Yes, you can. So if you go, so you can do as many call flows as you like, do different groups and however you want to have it. This is the demo one that we're working through, and you can go export PNG and go straight from there. So you can just take this as a picture. If you were just trying to add this to an existing quote that you have, go through this really quickly and just do the drawing and then pull it out and go straight from there. So that would download it. You can also duplicate. So if you're creating two quotes and one's really similar to another one and you just kind of change, adding an extra agent, you can just duplicate this one, add the extra agent to the other one, and then you have the options. So yes, you can do that. All right, the last and final step is reviewing. So you can go through and look at what you've quoted up and how it's going to look to the customer. So this is the quote version, the proposal version, which gives you so that big long, catalog brochure, longer version of the quote with all the product information in there. You have
let's keep it simple. It's a longer version.
It's a longer version.
Okay,
it's got more product information. And it looks very nice. Not all customers want that. Some just want to build materials style. I can do my margin analysis and I can see what everything's in there. I can see that there's a discount pending that I put on the Microsoft Basic user, and that is approved. And as a super resale admin, I'm able to approve it. But if I was a different role type, I wouldn't see that. I have to wait for my sales manager to come in. All that information is there. If I went to quote configuration, which is what we talked about before, this is how I can set up how all the colors show, the logo. Bags Corp is an inside joke. Mr. Bags is one of the product owners in my team who is building CPQ. He's got his logos in here. I don't know how long he spent on creating the logo, but it's very enjoyable to see it in there. So you can control all of that. Again, if you're in proposal mode, you can control quite a bit more as well. The content, again, you can change your executive summary. There's a company profile bit in there, terms and conditions. And then, as we mentioned, the discounting. So I can put soft limits. I can put the maximum limit, which is where we saw the error before. I tried to do a 35% on a license. And it also will notify someone if someone tries to exceed the limit as well. So this is another user which would be in your organization. So that is the very basic version of quoting. So it's basically what we had in version 1 with a few more additional features with the discounting, the margin, and a couple of other nice things. What we're going to do now is show some new stuff.
This is the good part.
This is the good part.
No, I think it's really great that we've left this for those that have been using this and getting a lot out of it. We've just enhanced those features along the way, which is great. But I think these next two parts, I think, will enable a whole lot more partners to be able to use this more successfully.
And I think I just didn't mention then, sorry, was you are able to download this. So this allows you to download the file of a quote. And then you can also send it directly to the customer from here to, if you put the customer contact information in. All right, so going back to our opportunity. Nice. So that quote's been created and saved. Pricey. What we can do now is we're going to create one from a template. So I'm going to browse my templates. Now this is all test data, which is why they look a bit funny. But in here, you'd have all the templates that Access4 has created, which you can filter by selecting SASBOSS, or you can show the ones that are in your reseller. So you as a reseller have created and shared with the team, or you can see only your personal ones. So the ones that you created and just for yourself, they're all available there as well. You can search by name, you can search by industry for, if you want all customers that are in healthcare, you can find all the quotes that are related to that. And you can also select by product category. So do we have
any limits on how many we can?
No, you can have as many templates as you like.
Fantastic.
Recommend keeping it a little bit clean because it does, you can create quite a lot.
Yep.
You can fill up quick. And it's because they're an image and the image really helps you work out which one you want to pick, keeping them down, but you can have as many as you like. Absolutely. All right. So let's go an abundance of telephone tapestry. So like a good template like that one. All right. So this is a basic call flow. There's not a lot going on in it. But what it does show you is how the flow would work. So if you're again sitting here with the customer, you can show this option. It also tells you what's in the quote. So this quote has 4 executive users. If I picked another quote that was maybe a bit bigger, let's find one that's a bit more complex. That looks complex. You can see there's a lot more items in there, including some devices, including numbers, including some additional fees like training, all the things that are included. You can get a nice quick list of
So if I take one of these templates and decide it's pretty much what I want, but I want to add something, is that?
You can. So 2 ways. If you want to take a template and then add to it for the customer, you can do that.
Yep.
If you want to take a template, add to it, and then save as another new template, you can do that as well.
Fantastic.
So let's create this one from this template. So I can create from this proposal. So this will give me all the information that we just put through manually pre-filled, which is the great speed benefit of templates. So going through, everything is filled in. So there's 5 Flex Microsoft Teams channels, add-ons, but everything is all there, including its devices. What was in there? Oh, sorry, I think the one that had 4 things in it. But that will all be available in there, and everything is there, including its call flow. There. So again, back to the opportunity. That's another way of doing it. Again, really, really quick. I can then update and change it as needed. Then.
And as I think as we said before, the ability for partners to customize this themselves, standardize with some process with their go-to-market teams. Hey, use this one to start with, use this one for this. This is the one. And that way, we're comfortable. And I think, one of the important things that we're trying to achieve with this CPQ V2 is that we know that if you have the confidence to quote, then you'll quote. Whereas if you're feeling uneasy, I'm not sure if this is going to work. Am I going to get into trouble because I've quoted the wrong thing, or I've quoted a license that isn't going to do what the customer wants? That's where I think this is really great, because you can get buy-in from those that know and have the confidence to then go and sit in front of your customer and say, hey, this is going to do what you want it to do.
That's it. That's exactly it. So again, you can have a tech create these and you can use them as many times as you like and customize them to exactly what the customer
And I think the other thing is that, we all know that sometimes in that sales cycle, speed to customer and speed to quote becomes, exceptionally important. And if you're in a competitive environment and, you're the first one to get into the appointment, you're the first one to recontact them, you're the first one to get your quote in, then that puts you in a really good winning position. And so the fact that you can do this on your own and get that out quicker is only a win.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I didn't show this before, but if I was to add a few things to it, say business back service, I can then go over here and save this as a template.
Right. So that's taking that template we had before and then making a couple of alterations to it to make it what I want it to be for this particular one.
Correct. And so you can do that to any of them. I could go back to my let's go and save it. I go back to my original quote that I made, my demo quote. I can also save this one as a template too. So you can do as many times as you like. It makes it really easy and
right.
repeatable. All right. So the third way to create a quote is through the scoping tool. And this is probably the area that's had the most changes and most new bits of work, because it is completely different flows to some of the others. But it's really around stepping you through getting the right accurate quote for a customer. So I'm going to do this a couple of different ways. So scoping tool, again, it's kind of the first basic questions you would ask your customer. You might already know a bunch of this information already. In terms of solution type, the customer may have already mentioned that they want Microsoft Teams. That's what they've heard of.
Yeah.
So you could go straight through and you can say, yep, I know what they want Microsoft Teams. Solution type, basic, enhanced. That's a lot of options.
It is, absolutely. And I think, again, it's important that what this part of the tool is designed to do is for those that aren't sure and for those that want to learn the broad spectrum of product sets that we've got and how it potentially could service their customer. This allows them to go through that question and answer type scenario through that qualification process to get to the end customer's needs. And over time, the idea of this tool is that as you've done it enough times and ended up with the different product results, you'll learn what the qualifying questions are to ask your customer, and then you also learn what it is that I want based on the answers, and then you can then go to one of the other sections within CPQ that allows you to get to the end result faster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You said it could all be in your head. So I'm going to go through one sort of as if I don't really know what most of these products are. So I've got a lot of information here. It explains what each of our different licenses is, but I might not be sure which one the customer needs. No worries. Next question. So they need dedicated phone line or a shared phone line. So in this case, I'm going to say dedicated because most of the people in there do. Add-ons. Do we need anything like call recording or analytics? The boss probably does, but not everyone does. So I'm going to say for some users. And add-ons, dedicated phone lines. It's a flexible option. Okay, we'll go flexible. And then I get my recommendation. So that was, 4 or 5 questions deep, and now I've got my exact product recommendation for it. This will recommend to you whether it should go to Operator Connect, whether it should go basic, whether it should be enhanced. There are ways to go through all this. So I'm going to go back. Let's go back to start question. There's a reset button. I didn't push the reset button. All right. So in this case, do you want to jump in?
No, you're all good.
All right. In this case, I don't know what the customer necessarily wants. So I'm going to say not sure. In terms of dedicated or shared, again, I know that they're dedicated. And again, I got a different outcome. I got Cisco WebEx, and I can do that. So again, that was 2 questions. I could do Microsoft Teams, and I could say I'm not sure because I was looking straight at the answer. I said it might be shared, and then add-ons required, no, and Microsoft tendency, do they own their own? Yes, no, they don't want to. This goes to channel. If they did, you'll go to Operator Connect. All that's basically in there, so you can have all those different options. I know which one I want to demonstrate today. So let's go straight to WebEx. From here, you have your 3 options of where you go. So this could be just your first qualifying, am I getting the right product? Then you can go wherever you like from here. So you could just go to create a quote, which is the first flow that I showed you. Now that you know it's WebEx, you can go through, add your licenses, your add-ons, your devices, and build your quote. Or you could go through to the template section and filter, and it will filter directly on WebEx for you, and you can pick from the templates you've got. Again, nice and easy. The third option is the really new one, which is use the quote builder, which again is recommended if you haven't done quote WebEx before, or you're just not very confident in it, need a bit of help. Click on that one. It will then take you through into our quote builder experience. So similar to the first one, but there's a lot more information that helps you decide on what you need to have. So we are still polishing the information here. There's a few bits that aren't quite right copy, so please forgive us for that. But this is what it would give you. So first point is the users endpoints. Which kind of license do I need? Because there's quite a lot you can do with WebEx. Which one do I want to have? And it will compare all of them for you. So there should be a bunch more green ticks over on this side. But this lets you see what you would get in terms of features, in terms of what you can have. And then I can go through and put some things in. So let's say 3, 5, and it'll tells me how many licenses I've got. So I've picked 8 so far. And I can go down and I can say, don't want common phone. Yeah, let's do a couple of those. And then I know exactly what I've put in there. So I can then go onto my add-ons. Cool. So software add-on with WebEx. So that's actually not it's compatible with it tells me I can compatible with all the users that I've put through. So I could have it with either my 3 basic or 5 standard. And then I can go call recording light. I can put that information in. Every sort of add-on is explained and put through. So we're in the old solution, the previous way of doing quoting, it was just line by line, and you really had to know what each one of those was to pick it. This steps you through and explains what each one is, why it's compatible, if it's not compatible, what's in there. You know, direct call, pick up with bargain. I know I've got 8 licenses, I can put 8 in there because it tells me I can put a maximum of 8 because it's completely compatible. So all that's in there. UC paid, it's up to date. UC paid is in there. Everything is in there, and I can just go through. And so I don't fill it all in at once. I just put it through for you. Group services. You know, do I want to hunt group with time of day routing? Do I want call center queues with time of day routing? Again, it gives me what information each of those are. And then if I had put them in, I could then say how many voicemail. 1. I can go through my additional group services, so IVR and SMS, business fax service. All right, so because I said I wanted call center queues, it will then show me the options for my call center queues. So it does update as based on what you've put in there. I can put it through. So yeah, there's a lot of
and the good thing
information.
is that as you're guiding your way through, if you're not quite getting the result you want, you can then step back and go, what do I need to change the result that I need? And you can just keep working yourself backwards and forwards until you get the answer that you want.
Exactly. So I'm not filling everything in there, so which is why it's grayed out, because I haven't put the call center queues in. The next bit is iCall suite. Do they want iCall suite? Do they need them? Again, I can't put them in for the call center queues because I haven't added any call center queues yet, but it lets me know that it is available if I did, so I could go back.
And that's that back and forth part where you can go,
exactly.
Oh, hang on, I can't put of those and I need some, so I'll have to go back and put them in and then come back and do that.
So if I just put 2 in there. I can see now this is all available to me. I've got 2 call center queues I can add these things to. Again, with the iCall suite, I can put on, so I can put 2 through there. Wall project section, CRM, something like that. And then I can review and then build. So I can then pick the callback type, so pay-as-you included, bundled. And then it gives me a quick summary of everything I've put in there. So I can see all my endpoint licenses, my add-ons, my group services, everything there, total cost, and then I can build my quote. Which again will take us back to the original view we had, because that's again where you can customize and have it all through there. And it will give you everything. It won't give you a call flow because again, it doesn't know what to draw at the time, but you can then send that quote to the customer directly.
Great. Looks great.
I am very happy with how it looks. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So that quote's coming through. I can see all the different items I've put in there. I can see through here. I can now add my discounts as needed. So it's all there. All right.
So
anything else you want to add for that one?
No, I think that's I think it's really good coverage. And again, I just like the fact that we're catering for the different types of personas of people that we're working with. And at the same time, it's also an education process for people who may not have had this product or not had a huge amount of experience in selling voice, because the confidence of being able to quote a product means that you're going to be happy to have that conversation with your end customer, because I know that I've got a tool that I can use to deliver a quote. I'm not going to be embarrassed because I can't get a quote, or I have to wait, or I have to explain why I haven't been able to do it. And I think that, a lot about sales and sales performance is around that confidence and building the confidence in the product set that you're selling and delivering. And I think this really helps with that.
Yeah, exactly. Just to answer your question there, Dan, yes. So whatever you've productized and the name that you've given that product will show up in the quote. So if you've taken an executive license and made 2 or 3 different versions, different price points, whichever one you've selected will show up in the invoice with that name exactly. So your customer will see what you've called that product.
All right, so we're just looking at a couple of any more questions that may have dropped in.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, so when you ask questioners around the discounting, will it reflect when you go through? It does not at this stage automatically reflect. It doesn't go through and create new products for you for that, because we don't want sort of endless products coming up.
That's it. So the decision was made around the visibility and perception of understanding where the price point would be or where it needs to be. And again, giving some tools to sales management to allow that to happen, to get that picture, but ultimately still putting the control in the hands of our partner to decide, do we want to discount this? And if this is the price point, then let's productize it at that price point.
That's it, exactly. So again, if you are quoting that, the customer can see that, and then you can productize it afterwards. It doesn't automatically do it for you in case it doesn't go through. But considering, we'd love feedback on it for later versions of CPQ and how you'd best like it to come through. Yes, you do have to be a certain, so the question was, settings to limit discounts and soft limit exceeding email notification amendable are the different roles that can do it. Yes, only the top tier roles in SASBOSS can. So in here, I was a reseller super admin, which is why I could change the configuration of CPQ from the colors all the way through to discounts. And I can also accept the discount I've put through. If you don't have that sort of level, if you're a sales admin, it won't show up there. But if you were the sales director role or the that higher level, then you can change those things. Yes.
Very good. Did we get, was there one there? Can I create multi-sites, groups, call flows, diagrams, and BOM?
Yes. Yes, you can. So
so you can make it as complex as you like. You can just keep adding on and adding on.
So in terms of your question, can you make multi-site bill of materials? No. So that the bill of materials is for the entire quote. So you could quote separately for different sites if you want to do it that way. So you have that flexibility. Under the call flow area, you can create it for different groups. So I can add a call flow here, and I can call that main.
Site 1, site 2.
Site 1, site 2, all that sort of stuff. So you can create the call flow separately. It just won't build materials separately for you. So I'd recommend creating separate quotes. Yeah, we were looking at that, and it did make the quote invoice look quite interesting.
Yes,
it did. But again, it's great feedback if that's how you would like to. We can work out a way to make that work.
Okay. I think we've got 10 minutes left of our 1 hour allotment, so we're down to the wire. I think we've answered most, if not all, of the questions that have come into the chat. So we are sort of at the wind down point. So this is where the exciting times where you have to, people like me who can't sit still and can't wait are going to have to wait just a little bit longer for this one.
They will just a little bit longer. So customize the pricing. Yes, with discounting, you can customize the pricing that would be available in the quote as you can. Sorry, just answering another question that's come through. But to your point, yes, we do have to wait a little bit longer. So we are finalizing a few of the bugs that have been found. So our beta team
trying to work out whether they're features. Is that?
sometimes you can have the unexpected features through that way, which is wonderful. But yeah, so we have our beta partners who have signed up for that. They're eagerly testing and sending us through. So we want to make sure that the product version 2 of CPQ that we give you is of fantastic feature rich, but also really high quality. We don't want those bugs.
It's only a little bit longer wait. Right?
It's only a little bit longer. It's coming out in November. It's just pushing it a little bit to make sure we can finalize those last pieces.
And trust me, I'll be on the are we there yet? Are we there yet?
I think Matt's booked his seat next to me for the rest of the month to ask.
Are we there yet?
Exactly. So not a long wait. I apologize for that we are making you wait a little bit longer, but we do want to make sure that this is a great product for you. I'm committed to it.
So somewhere in month of November.
That's it. And when we do have the final date, we will be providing that to you so that you can get prepared. And again, there will be we will give you the exact date when we can. And then there will be the facilitated training sessions for our L&D team, which will take you through this in really, really great detail. You can ask any kind of question you like with it, and they'll be there to support you. We'll be running those sessions weekly following the launch, and we'll be providing the link to register for that after this webinar.
And also your sales ops, partner success and PGMs will all be well versed in this product set, and so we'll be able to help you take those through, as well as obviously the solutions consultants team. The whole go-to-market channel team is super behind this product and super excited to get it in the hands of our partners. Are we there yet? And yeah, really looking forward to it.
And I haven't stopped talking about CPQ since I think we started working on it about a few months ago. Yeah. So no, everyone's well versed and really excited to bring it to you guys. So thank you for joining me.
No problem. Thank you, everyone who's attended. It's always wonderful to see the support we get from our partners. This is a great initiative. Well done to the platform team for pulling this together. This enormous amount of work and detail that's gone into delivering this. I think it's going to give us some great results in our sales environments. So yeah, looking forward to it. Are we there yet? And we'll see you all next time on the next webinar.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See ya. Bye.